Now, we promised better audio than the last time we did an interview with you.
That was going to be my first. We've lost sleep. Yeah, we've lost sleep over that.
We've been scarred for life because of that. We're like, oh my God, we let him down so badly.
So you put us under a flight path?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, how can we screw the audio?
Yeah.
How can we screw the audio this time? City Airport, that'll do it.
I'll get him. Hello, everybody, and very warm welcome to Ask the Accountant. We have cool friends. Now, it doesn't get much cooler than this, does it? I mean, we are talking about we're at the Fox, so we've got a new location that we're enjoying and everything else.
Yep.
We're excited about. We've got this opportunity to talk to someone who has a Mac studio. That's going to be question number one. We're going to dive straight into that one.
And there goes all the
Doing some
listeners.
stalking.
I know. And we're continuing the marketing trend, aren't we?
We're continuing marketing, and he plays with AI all day, every day. And to be fair, had one of the best bits of swag, on-brand swag, I've ever seen. So we need to go back into that
You
as
remember
well.
that question. You remember that question.
Yes.
But first of all, Jordan, who are you? Why are you here?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having me, guys. Good to be back. Jordan Vickery, co-founder of Vinyl. Vinyl's an AI meeting assistant for accounting firms. Also wear a couple of other hats. One of them is director of Journey, which is a growth agency working with software vendors in accounting tech. And I've also done a bit of work with the digital accountancy show as the head of content.
Yeah. Let's start at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because a little birdie told me you were involved in Pixie at one point.
Yes, yeah, it was...
So, but was that the start or was there more to go?
no, it was at
before
the start, yeah. One of the early co-founders in Pixie.
Wow.
Yeah, before Revenue, was there for 3.5 years and then moved on to do different things.
So was it you then? Because I remember you from somewhere beforehand. You weren't involved in the original Pixie like calls or anything, were you?
Yeah.
So it could have been
Yeah. Maybe I demoed Pixie to you.
Yeah, that because I've been trying to place it. Like, how do I know?
I was also in the Pixie Academy, which was the video training library.
Yes.
So when customers signed up and they got access to like the Thinkific course, it was my face on there.
So how long were you there for?
About 2.5, 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you ever involved when they were like stand here then, or with free?
No, I just finished up with Pixie. I think before they exhibited at Accountancy for the first time, but was there from pre-launch all the way through the first few years. And then moved on and was doing some consulting with other apps in the ecosystem. And then Trent, my business partner in both Journey and Vinyl, he launched Journey and I came on board and the rest is history, I guess.
Oh, okay. So you literally was like, right, Journey's your main focus and you moved on from...
Yeah.
Is there anything in between or anything like that?
No, well, we were just consulting with different apps and then we
Yeah.
wanted to kind of formalize it into something more. And like we had this frustration when we were working with different software vendors that we could never find an agency that was very good because they either didn't understand accountants or they wanted to ram some kind of cookie cutter marketing process down your neck that didn't really suit the way that you wanted to market to accounting firms.
Yeah.
Journey was almost born out of that frustration where it's like, this is the agency that we would have wanted to work with when we were in-house.
Like Pixie would have benefited from it, that sort
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
mentality, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome.
But isn't that where all the best companies come from? Is where you go, you know what, if I did this myself, this is how I'd do it.
Yeah.
I didn't swear.
He didn't say the word.
Yeah, to be honest, the Vinyl story is quite similar because we were really heavy Fireflies users in Journey, like from 3 or 4 years ago. And we were using it extensively, trying to figure out how to integrate it with the systems we were using to track work, trying to feed the transcripts into various things and just coming up against challenge and kind of asked ourselves, well, if we're facing these challenges, I wonder if accounting firms are as well, and kind of surveyed a number of firms and transpires that they have much of the same challenges, and Vinyl was really born off that as well.
Love that. So before we get into Vinyl, because I can't wait to start talking about that. There's some bits in there, but let's talk about Journey itself. So, and the last 2 podcasts we've just done, sat in this very chair, we must mention the word Journey 7 times.
You
So just
clearly
to
don't
make
know
sure.
the Journey drinking game.
Well, more importantly, you haven't trademarked. We don't owe you money for this, right?
Trademark Journey.
Well, there is a tray of tequila shots coming out every time you say Journey. So
okay.
Duly noted. Fuzzy on day one of Accountancy.
Duly noted. Go forward. But you've been there for a while now. So how many years have you been involved in Journey?
Just over 3 years.
Wow. Yeah. And how has that gone for you? Like, because it must be really pushing those creative juices for you.
It's great because you get a behind the scenes peek at a large number of apps in the ecosystem. I think over 3 years we've worked with just over 60 vendors globally. Everything from kind of like pre-revenue all the way through to like large enterprise Series C software companies, getting involved and helping them to figure out new and creative ways to kind of reach accounting firms. So you get a peek behind the curtain to see what's happening in all these different businesses. So you kind of understand like what is working, what isn't working, where are people kind of making mistakes, what can you learn from that, how can you find ways to improve. So yeah, it's been really, really worthwhile.
You've been there for a while.
Yeah, I mean, most of my time these days is kind of split between Journey and Vinyl. I'm really grateful and thankful to have an amazing team in Journey that are great at doing what they do, which is looking after our clients, working on the strategy and then executing that on a daily basis. And I come in and kind of help strategically, provide some direction and insight, review things where I need to, and then the team just do an amazing job of executing on that.
Amazing. And then how did the DAS journey can't start for you then? So you were there day one, right?
Yeah, from the very first show. Yeah, so it was actually Trent that introduced me to Dan when DAS was just an idea in Dan's head, and Dan was looking for somebody to come and help with like the content side of things, like figuring out what sessions to run and who to speak. And at the time I was just freelancing with different software companies, so yeah, brought me in, and then I've been involved in the show ever since.
Yeah, and especially DAS has got such a good story, right? Because I'll always remember the quirkiness of it being at the stadium. Wasn't it one of the first
Twickenham?
Tottenham
Hotspur Stadium.
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
And
Wasn't it one of the first like events there or something? It was like,
it was not long after the new stadium opened. Yeah,
exactly.
And it was also one of the first events after COVID.
Yes, that's right. Because the first one actually got cancelled because of COVID.
Yeah.
They had I think it was like a June date initially planned, and then that got cancelled and it got moved to some other time a year later.
Yeah, and then you had the longest bar.
Longest bar in Europe.
In Europe, is it? Is
yeah,
that what it was?
I think it's the longest bar in Europe at the stadium, yeah.
I bet you had some marketing fun around that.
Actually, not too much,
Oh,
no, because at the time, like the DAS night show and after party wasn't so much a thing. It was the
Few
first
drinks at
one,
the end,
so
wasn't it?
yeah. And it's only really evolved into something beyond that, kind of later dates.
Because that's what I loved about DAS is those quirky areas. Because Tottenham's no one thought about doing it at a football stadium, right? And especially Tottenham, what an idea to have it there. That's purpose built, love it.
But it was chosen, wasn't it, for a specific reason? It was chosen because it was one of the most technology forward stadiums in the world, in the UK.
Yeah. And then obviously outgrew that, went to Battersea, and that was just such a cool like area, right? Like such a cool event. Like we go to a lot of these events and they're very similar, aren't they? Like you can kind of, sometimes it can be very much, you can pick up one stand, put them into the other, and it's kind of, there was definitely identity around that, was it? Was that something you were able to help with?
No, I'm not involved in that part of the show. There's an amazing team of people that look after all of that stuff and do a really great job. So I think they've kind of defined this very iconic DAS brand that people know and love the show for now. My involvement is very much around just like the content, the speakers, and making sure that when people attend, they actually get some value from the event, outside of the actual sponsors and stuff.
Yeah, and that's where Vinyl's first, was it public?
We launched at DAS in April of last year, So we had our launch party the night before in Battersea Power Station, which is an amazing venue to launch an app, and then we launched Vinyl upstairs at DAS last year.
Yeah.
Any venue that's the home of Apple headquarters for the UK, it's kind of up there, isn't it? Like, all right, they know what they're doing here. This is the brand we're looking for.
Yeah. And if you ever get a chance to do the escape room there as well, I don't know if you saw it.
No, I've not seen it.
Because it was at the boiler at the actual place, wasn't it?
It was in the control room bar, which is like, if you've never been, it's like an amazing room. It's got all the old machinery and the kind of thinking was that vinyl's this like vintage thing, and like that venue's also got like a bit of a vintage feel to it as well.
Yeah. And what a stroke of genius for the first bit of swag on that day as well. So for anyone who doesn't know, you were handing out vinyl records themselves.
Yeah.
Are you still doing that today? Was that?
No, that was like a one-off special edition for the launch. We bought, I think it was 300 really old second-hand vinyl records on eBay. It cost like 10 pence per record. They're all scratched up.
Yeah.
completely random tracks you would have never heard of, and then we put some custom stickers on them and handed them out. So if anyone's got one of those, I reckon they're worth a lot of money these days.
Probably up there with the top trumps, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
You know,
like a limited edition Charizard card.
yeah. Exactly. So vinyl is obviously your big passion at the moment. Where did it come from? Talk us through that story of, like, obviously we've heard where the launch was and we've heard like that first initial thing, but how did that idea? I know you were saying that you were getting frustration with Firefly, but what?
Yeah,
there's having a frustration. There's actually doing something about it, right?
yeah, it was really born out of like us using Fireflies extensively in Journey and trying to figure out how to get it to work better around our workflows and the types of conversations we were having with our clients. And it did an okay job, but like not an amazing job because it wasn't purpose built for an agency like ours. So we then decided to survey, I think it was just over 250 accounting firms globally, to first of all understand, do you have an issue with meeting notes and what happens after meetings? And secondly, do you feel like the existing solutions are solving that problem for you? And yeah, overwhelming feedback was no, they're not solving our problems that well. So yeah, we started building Vinyl November 2024. We launched our beta in April of 2025. Had just over, I think it was like 350, 400 accounting firms join that beta from April through till August. And then, yeah, when kind of general availability August of last year.
Cool. So you've said that you're global, which is phenomenal. Now, in our experience of the accounting industry, we know Australia is pretty hot on their tech.
Yeah.
America can either be hot or cold depending on the tech, and the UK kind of sits in the middle somewhere. Sometimes we're ahead of the game, sometimes we're behind the game.
Yeah.
What are you seeing demographic wise with vinyl? Like, is one country easier to sell to? Are they more in line with this note taking and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's kind of as you described, really. Like Australia are the ones that are quickest to adopt and most willing to just embrace something and give it a go. The US is probably second to that. They're also just quite willing to trial it and give it a go and figure out how it works. You do find that firms in the US are a little bit more security conscious. I think it's more of a cultural thing there. They want to understand.
We'll play with a note taker, but don't touch our paper checks.
Yeah. And like, funnily enough, like I'd say UK firms, it's not that they're slower to adopt. I just think that they take a little bit longer to really kind of go through that decision-making process of, is this the right thing for us?
Okay.
How are we going to implement it? They're a lot more kind of considerate.
Yeah.
So it's not a question of being like slower or faster. I guess it's like more like considerate around their decision-making. So I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. There are a few differences.
Yeah, it's interesting. I always loved the global demographics and how it varies from one area to another.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And being on the global stage, funnily enough, we've had this joke before, right? For anyone who doesn't know, I live Derby, you live Sheffield. So we actually share the same train track to get into London. And many a time, we've both been on the train and we've never once been able to like have the same train for whatever reason, right? It's never happened. It's weird, right? We're both on it frequently. I've seen many people on there, like Steve Reynard and everyone else and Bev and blah, 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 right? But never caught with you. The one time I did see you, though, was out in Vegas.
Yeah.
Of all places.
Yeah.
At a pool party, right?
We've got 2 whole episodes without him mentioning Vegas. And here we go. I wondered where this was going.
Yeah.
But I have to say, like, outside looking in, the fact that you, and I think there's, I don't want to give away your secrets here or anything, but the fact that you guys have got such a different approach to these sort of events than a lot of other people, I think. Like,
yeah, we've not exhibited at any conference in the US, but we've been out there, I'd say 7 or 8 times in the last 12 months.
And been involved in it and got involved.
Because one of the big secrets about accounting, and it's really not that big of a secret, it's all about community. Like, there is a community in every country, and it's not about selling, it's about building relationships within that community. So the more you can just get out and be part of those events, go to the drinks, go to the pool parties. If you're in the US, you don't get them here, unfortunately, not the weather. But just meet people that way, and that's how you build a network and form relationships with people.
So, before we go any further, we need to explain to the ladies and gentlemen what vinyl is, because Aaron knows what it is, I know what it is. We're all chatting here like everybody knows what it is.
They haven't watched my video.
Let's hope for Jordan's sake they haven't. You could have read the instructions first.
Yeah.
Jordan, talk us through about vinyl. What does it do? What's the objectives? Where is it today? And what's the short-term, long-term vision for it?
Yeah, okay, so today Vinyl is an AI meeting assistant purpose-built for accounting firms. So I guess the key differences between Vinyl and a more generic note taker are when we capture the transcript, we're not just capturing a generic transcript. We run it through a pipeline with 8 different stages. One of those stages is a library of key accounting terms and phrases. So, somebody says AR, we know it's accounts receivable. Somebody says zero, we know to spell it with an X. Simple things like that mean when you get the meeting summary, it's much more accurate and much more relevant to the types of conversations that you're having with your clients. And we also strip out all the small talk, all the fluff, what did you do? I was on a roll, man. That's the CEO of Fireflies right there.
Is that right? I'm out. I've had enough of this.
We strip out all the small talk. What did you do at the weekend? How's the wife? How are the kids? And we just give you a really focused set of detailed notes. That's the kind of step one of a much longer process. And that's the bit that we do really, really well compared to all the other note-taking solutions. What we do beyond that is then we allow firms to file those notes in all the places where they need them the most. So the first place is in Vinyl. We automatically file it against client records and contact records, which means that if somebody in the team is looking for something, they don't have to go digging through inboxes or folders. Everything is there in one place. The second thing we do is integrate with practice management platforms to then push those notes through to the relevant client records or jobs so that people doing those jobs have the notes where they need them.
Yeah.
What we do next is all around like post-meeting actions. So we have like one-click actions for draft a follow-up email, create a more detailed summary or a file note. So if you've had a board meeting with a client, you don't just want a basic summary, you want like a really extensive summary broken down into kind of key themes and categories. And we can generate that in seconds, and you can download it, save it in your document management system, and whoever needs it in the firm has got it. And then the kind of fourth part is Ask Vinyl, which is, I guess, what we're building towards longer term, which is what we're calling firm-wide intelligence. So the ability to log in and ask any question about any client or any meeting and just have those answers appear instantly. And we're about to release an email integration, and that means we'll then be able to pull through email context into that analysis. And what you'll start to end up with is almost like this client profile that's kept up to date in real time with everything that's been discussed in meetings, everything that's been discussed by email. And suddenly anyone that's now responsible for that client simply has to go there, and they've got this very up-to-date picture of what's happening in their business without having to ask other people in the team.
I love that. And what I love is as well what people are doing with that data, because I saw a post about a solution that was taking those transcripts, might not have been through Vinyl, but they were taking a transcript of a meeting, and they were generating directly from there the proposal. Like that. And that's the sort of thing you're trying to encourage.
Well, we're actually building an integration with Ignition right now to do exactly that. So from a discovery meeting, you'll click a button in Vinyl, it will generate a proposal, pull through all of your services from Ignition, it will generate a proposal, and then that will be available to just push through and send to the client, all within seconds of the meeting ending.
Amazing.
And you can also do the same for things like AML checks. You're sitting opposite a client, talking about the business, trying to know your customer, all that stuff. We can then use that to pre-populate an AML check.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
And we've got a transcript with permission, obviously, from the client of every meeting we've had in 24 and 25 and now 26. And just the amount of insights you can get from those, just having those transcripts there, right?
Yeah.
Like we were concerned that maybe we were like leaving money on the table, or maybe we're like not properly closing proper things, and letting AI gather all that information and just doing that. And that, for me, that's a manual job. I've got to go in there, So I can completely see that firm-wide intelligence idea of going, well, why are we not using that data sooner? Because at the moment, for me to get to that data, I've got to, and I'm someone who's tech-minded, who's put them into like folders or whatever, right? But it's still not easily accessible, right?
No.
So you're encouraging them to get a hold of that data and get that data much sooner, right?
Yeah, like for us, it's all around as much context capture as possible. So right now, we can capture meetings online and in person through the mobile app. We're working on a solution to be able to capture phone calls through a desktop app. We're also looking at bringing emails into that as well. And that means that the more context you have, the more insights and things you can pull out of that data.
What about let's say Aaron and I are having a meeting, Aaron's recorded it on Teams or something.
Yeah.
Am I able to import that transcript into Vinyl for Vinyl to deal with?
Not right now. It's something that we'll likely have available in the future, because we have a number of firms that are looking to move away from an existing note-taking provider, and they want to bring that context with them. So it's something that we will develop at some point, but it's just not available today.
Talk us through this isn't a sales pitch, I do apologise, but I'm curious now, because as much as I use Applaud. No, I absolutely love my Applaud device, but I am sat here thinking I've got a wider team that doesn't.
Yes.
That's the issue, isn't it? That's how I'm seeing this. Yeah.
So actually, so what is your pricing structure?
Yeah, so the way that we price is different to most apps. We don't do per user, and the reason why we don't do that is because different people in the firm have different meeting requirements. Like a partner might be 20 hours a month, a junior might be 5 hours a month. So it's pointless charging the same amount per seat.
Yeah.
we do a firm license, so you get a number of hours included on a monthly basis that get pulled across the entire team. You then use those up as you're kind of going through your meetings. If you get to the end of the month and you've used all your hours, then there's a small overage charge, which is like 8p per minute recorded. And that's just our cost of capturing it, transcribing it, analyzing it, and storing all the data.
Yeah, because this AI stuff's not cheap.
No.
As much as people sit there going, well, I can have ChatGPT for free. It's like,
But the
you
way
can, it's not secure though.
it's not cheap, but it is cheap, because the way to think about it is not against the cost of technology, but against the cost of people.
True.
Because if you've got like an executive assistant and they're sat there typing up notes, sending emails, adding things to systems, and you're paying them whatever, call it £20 an hour.
Yeah.
You'll probably tell me that's like not enough. I don't know, but
Yeah, that's
call
inside
it,
the minimum wage.
yeah,
That's
call it
okay.
£20 an hour. And then you're paying Vinyl the equivalent of like £2.50 an hour to do all of that
it's-
for you.
Yeah.
It's like, it
It's
might
a win-win.
be. Yeah, there's a huge cost saving there.
So do you encourage firms to use the Vinyl for just the client meetings? And
Internal meetings
but
as well.
internal meetings
Yeah.
as well?
Because you can use that to create a training library for your team members, and you can use it to help find opportunities for team members to develop. Because we've got a number of firms now where they're kind of encouraging more junior team members to run, regular meetings with clients on a monthly basis against a framework or an agenda. They can then log into Vinyl and essentially analyze that transcript and score them against how well they followed that
That's
agenda,
quite
and be like,
And in a
okay,
remote
like
world-
you did a 3 out of 5 on this part of the meeting. Here's what you need to do to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a remote world, that's our biggest problem we have at the moment.
Yeah.
Like,
Because they can't shadow you.
yeah. So having that technology there to be able to do that training, do that thing, and what we used it for lately as well is just your onboard. Like onboarding is such a difficult thing to keep on top of, right? Like you'll set it and you'll forget it, right?
Yeah.
But then when you can analyze those meetings you've just had about you've just onboarded someone, oh, we forgot to do this or we forgot to do that, instead of having to actually physically do it, having that transcript there to go back to firm-wide intelligence, it's like at some point that will be able to prompt you and go, by the way, your onboarding needs to be updated by XYZ, right?
Well, one of the things that we're building is called Signals, and Signals is almost like the automated version of that. So we can automatically surface insights and opportunities from transcripts. So one signal might be like a revenue signal where somebody's had a meeting with a client and the client has mentioned something around like funding or forecasting. We can then surface that as an opportunity to offer them cash flow forecasting as a service. Or there might be like a churn signal where it's like a client has had a meeting and said, you delivered this 3 days late. It's the second month in a row. I'm really not happy with this. We can flag that as an opportunity for somebody to reach out and remedy the relationship. You can also do the same with team member training opportunities where kind of what I was saying earlier, it's like a team member is running a meeting. We can surface ways that they can then improve that based on the transcript.
I know these podcasts were never going to be done to make us money, but it's going to cost me money, isn't it? I'll get your business card afterwards. So I've got 2 teams and I'm remote from both of them. And that kind of insight and stuff,
Exactly.
I trust them implicitly to run a client meeting. I have no concerns whatsoever. But they are accountants and bookkeepers in the nicest possible way. They're all lovely people. Salespeople, they are not.
Yeah.
Because they aren't business owners. They don't recognise opportunities like so-and-so's complained a couple of times. Right, risk mitigation there.
Yeah.
So-and-so's mentioned this. Like, I turn around to one of my team saying, none of these clients have personal tax returns with us. Yeah, no, they won't want them. But actually, if I had transcripts to look back and a signal from Vinyl to say, actually, yes, they would, I can go, well, we think they would.
I was going to say also like another big one's out of scope work. Like if we can pull in the scope of services for every client, and then we can analyze that against the meetings that are taking place, we can identify when something has been said or done that is classified as out of scope. Because I think often more junior team members are just like, they want to please the client and say yes to things. And even if it's a small thing that maybe takes 1 or 2 hours, but it should be billable, we can highlight those opportunities.
Yeah.
And especially when you start bringing emails into that chain as well.
Yeah.
Because that's where a lot of people are they're just giving work away, give, like false promises, etc., etc. Your signals on an email scale, like that's where you're starting to, because as Pat's saying, we'd love to read every email we get. But it ain't gonna happen, right?
No.
Like we need technology like Vinyl to be able to give us
And
that
I think the really funny thing is like everybody thinks about AI as this thing that's dehumanizing accounting, that's going to replace accountants. The way that I think about something like Vinyl is this is only going to improve the relationships that you have with your team and your clients considerably.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, I use Claude whenever I go and do like a speaking session. So last week I was out in Spain. I did a 45-minute speaking session. I recorded it on Claude. By the time I finished that day, I'd got a huge transcript and I'd got 5 or 6 different articles written for Substack. I'd created a blog for the web. Like, I had all of this from that because I just made better use of whatever garbage came out of my mouth in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas normally I'd do that, then I'd have to sit there with a blank mind about, right, what I'm going to put on my Substack this week, or what am I going to do as a blog. Whereas actually, it's all just poured out of my mouth for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I captured that, and because of AI and capturing that, I can do so much with it.
Yeah.
So what could I achieve if I was capturing all the garbage that comes out of my team's mouths?
And that's the problem, right? Claude and all the other solutions out there are great, but they're not really designed easily to we've spent time. I mean, you've watched my video, right? It's 45 minutes. You'll never get back in your life. You know what I mean? Right?
No, I mean,
but you're seeing the
one.
but you're seeing the pain that we're going through as business owners, right? Yeah. Like for us, we want this to be super simple and super straightforward. I think someone building it when they know our pain points and they know our problems, I think that speaks for itself, doesn't it?
I love my auto transcription and the fact that Claude can go with me. And, you know, I've got more than just an accounting firm. I've got, obviously, Engager, I've got podcasting and stuff. So Claude works really well for me. But I'm sat here now going, I'm an idiot for not thinking Vinyl will work for the rest of my team.
Exactly.
I'm just sat here thinking about myself.
Yeah.
And actually, I should be using Vinyl for the whole team. Yes, I should be using it for my client meetings that I have. But it's okay that it doesn't do all the non-accounting stuff that I need. Because Claude will never do all of these signals and stuff like that. So, I mean, you converted me in this podcast, if no one else.
There we go.
So, that was a worthwhile point, wasn't it?
All right. Let's stop talking about particularly Vinyl. Because what I want to get back to is this whole idea of you being Mr. International, going around, because what I will tell you I'm most impressed with, without anything else, is how you got into people like Jason Stats and stuff like that. Was that generally just you just like approaching and networking and everything else? Because it must have great like pride for you, because Jason Stats, for anyone who doesn't know, Jason Stats, phenomenal YouTuber about the world of accountancy. If you're not watching him, why not watch him now? But he is very critical about who he recommends and who he doesn't recommend. He's like the hardest one to please him and all. He loves Vinyl.
But he'll take sponsorship, but he won't.
He will only
anyone he doesn't.
Only
he'll leave money on the table every time for his thing.
He ought to use Vinyl.
But he does. He raves about Vinyl. How did that conversation? Because have you ever spoke to him or?
Yeah, I know Jason really well.
Yeah.
The relationship only started because we brought him over to speak at DAS 2 years ago for the first time.
Of course, I forgot about that.
And then just stayed connected. Hung out a few times. Like he's a great guy.
Whose idea was that? Because that was
it was mine.
Brilliant. Yeah. And was it just because you saw him on YouTube, or do you know him before?
Like I saw what he was doing in the US market. There was no one in the UK that was doing anything like that over here, and I feel like the content was helpful because it kind of helps to stretch people's imaginations about what's possible. I appreciate some people think it's a little far-fetched what he's saying, and it's not that realistic, but I think it's helpful to think about what could be possible with the technology. Yeah, it just kind of stretches your mind a bit.
It's the entertainment factor he has behind it. Like, he is a funny guy.
Yeah.
Like, I've never met him in person, but I imagine he is a very genuine person.
Yeah.
And he is very funny. And I think he takes what is quite a dry subject area in the form of accounting and actually makes it entertaining and engaging.
And so it was that relationship that kind of started.
Yeah. And then managed to sit down with him a couple of times when we were kind of just getting started with Vinyl and share some ideas about what we were doing, and he was really bought into the concept. It was at the time where pretty much every presentation he did, he was telling firms to use an AI note taker, but there was no accounting specific ones at the time.
Yeah, I remember.
So it was just from there, and then managed to record a podcast episode with him in Vegas, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He hired out this crazy penthouse. It was like the 60th floor of the Aria Hotel. I got almost like what's it called, like vertigo going up in the elevator. I got up there, I was so dizzy. It might have been the beers the night before, I don't know.
No. It was the height. It was the height.
Yeah, he's a great guy and doing amazing things to kind of push the accounting profession forwards.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
He's one of the ones that I continue to watch and listen. Like, when he was doing like a daily podcast at one point.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is insane. He can't keep this up. He actually kept it up for a lot longer than I thought he would do.
Yeah.
But all of his videos and his podcasts now are just so
it's
full
the
of
quality that gets me.
such
It's like everyone is just like so polished.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have a team now, doesn't he?
I mean, I
that's
met some
helping
of his team out there, yeah,
Yeah.
and like he's got like a full media team.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
They're all like ex-television.
Yeah,
They know,
yeah,
they know what they're doing.
him. Yeah.
But even without the polish, the value of what he says
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And as you said, like, there's no one in the UK doing that. And actually, the UK could really benefit from someone like Jason.
Yeah, 100%.
So-
100%. Okay, so let's talk about the UK event scene then, because I generally think you've been to a lot of these events, right? You've been able to go to various ones around. How are you feeling about UK event scene at this point in time? Because I feel like you see it from a different view to most people, right? Because you see it as an opportunity, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the UK event scene is in a good place right now. I think that there's obviously a few bigger conferences that are carving their own path and doing their own thing and finding their own feet and their own kind of part of the market that they appeal to, which is great. Obviously, DAS has its focus and its audience, and now it's moving to the Excel in October of this year. I feel like that's going to be like the next step in their journey, like the next kind of, not really a challenge, but like I think the next thing that they need to do well, and I'm sure they're going to do an amazing job because they're going to bring that same DAS look and feel, production, content, everything that people love about the show, but to the Excel. So it's going to look and feel so different to anything else that's ever been here.
I'm very curious as to how that lands, because it's a very different building.
Yeah.
It's a very different venue to where you guys have been historically.
Yeah.
But I'm also excited to see how that lands.
I mean, for me, it's lost that. The original reason I was excited for it was because it's a new venue, right? And I was more like, I was excited to go to Tottenham. I was excited to go to things, right? It's lost that appeal there, but yeah, I mean, it's matured enough now to be able to have different reasons to go there, right?
And I think they've just got to a point now where the event has been growing year on year considerably, and there really aren't that many venues in London that can hold an event that size anymore. Like if you look around, I think there's probably one or two others apart from the XL that could fit them.
Yeah.
I'm excited to keep my step count down. Because that bugger was a long way away from anything. Public transport didn't go there. It was a beautiful park to walk
Amazing
through.
park, yeah.
But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to my step count being a bit lower.
I bet the Fox is happy as well because they're gonna do well from that day, aren't they?
They do like a party at the DAS night.
Yeah, definitely. But it always intrigues me though, because we're always told Accountex is the biggest accountancy in the world single event. That's what we're told. Like, we could debate back and forth if that's true.
I think it's the biggest by numbers. By numbers it is.
But why is US not outgrown that though? Like, I assume Intuit Connect's one of their biggest.
No, I think Intuit Connect's 3,500 people.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
right.
you were there. I saw you.
It's an Accountex Manchester event. Then it's tiny.
I was blown away just being there. I just, to me, you know what I mean. Oh, have I not told you about the time I went to Vegas?
I saw you twice.
But so it baffles me that America's not just been able to do bigger, right?
Or Australia.
Well, I think the thing with the US is it's so big.
Yeah.
And people aren't always that willing to travel across the country.
Right,
you know, you think to get from like the East Coast to the West Coast of the US, like that's like a 5-6 hour flight.
Yeah.
That's quite a way. And then, you know, hotels aren't cheap.
Yeah.
Going out for dinner and stuff isn't cheap. So it's a much, much bigger ask. And yes, there are a lot more accounting firms out there, but there's also a lot more traditional accounting firms out there, the kind of firms that don't go to events. They go to their local CPA society events within their state, but they don't really branch out beyond that.
Makes sense.
So you kind of have this like national event scene in the US, which are, I would say, like more of the leading firms, the ones that are kind of pushing the boundaries, innovating, wanting to learn what's new and great. And then you have the more regional local firms, and they just tend to stay within their states and go to local CPA society events and local networking events there.
So what you're saying is you're going to do a lot more work in vinyl to get to all these places then, is it? Yeah. So is there anything that you'd like to see from either the Australian events or the US events you like to bring over? Is there anything that you're thinking they're smashing that type?
I mean, one of the things I love about going to the US for accounting events is just how the community are with each other. So when you go there, like it's all around like the pool parties, the dinners, the drinks, the networking away from the show floor. And you get a bit of that here, but I don't think it's to the same level. I don't know if that's just British people being a bit more reserved and
maybe.
you know.
And I think sometimes the venues kind of prohibit that, right? Like.
I mean, yeah,
Fab,
we're
you're
not in
doing
the middle of
anything that-
Vegas with a
Yeah,
swimming pool in the 35 degrees.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
You got the River Thames over there. What else do you want?
Fab. Manchester, you've got opportunities, right? And we always make the most of them, but it's still Manchester, isn't it?
Yeah.
London, we're not actually in London, really. I know we are, but we're not really London. We're in its own little ecosystem, right? So maybe that's part of it, right? That they just don't have that infrastructure here.
But I think about when I speak to a lot of accountants about the value they get from events, it's very rarely the vendors and the content. Sometimes it is. It's always about bumping into other firms and the networking and the sharing of stories and the sharing of problems and challenges. And I feel like it'd be nice to see more things facilitating those conversations. Like how do you facilitate more networking between firms in informal settings, relaxed places where they can just get to know each other and share, you know, what their biggest challenges or how they're thinking about building out the team. And I see a lot of value in those kinds of things. Not to say that the other stuff isn't important. It's really important.
Yeah.
I think just,
I think it's also those are conversations where the opportunities lay. Like we were discussing on a previous episode about the fact that 3 tables down, this is where Aaron and I first decided to do the podcast. Like at another event having a beer, that's how I got involved in Engager. Like, it's the opportunities outside of the main events are huge.
I mean, you sat here signing up to vinyl because
of right? My wallet's twinging.
I mean, I was in the US 2 weeks ago at some kind of event for CPA's post-tax season. Very informal, like no panel sessions, no content. It was like hang around the pool in the day, go for dinners in the evening, go play golf. I was floating around in the pool one day, having a beer, got chatting to the guy. He's an investor investing in a private equity platform out in the US, acquiring accounting firms. Huge opportunity. It's like that just came from just being there and just, you know, networking. And it's like those things happen all the time, but you just got to facilitate those types of environments.
Yeah. And speaking of networking, you've got an opportunity to network at your, what are you calling it? Your party tomorrow night.
Boat party.
Boat party.
Yeah.
What is it a boat? Because we were told it wasn't on the boat.
It's not on the Sunborn, it's on the Oiler. The Oiler bar. Yeah.
Different boat.
There we are. You see,
I'm so happy I'll sleep.
every time I hear boat party, I always think Sunborn. So it's a good job I didn't just turn
it's not
up.
a yacht party, it's a boat party.
One day. Is that what you're saying? That's
Yeah. Well, I think the Oiler bar is much more fun.
Yeah. No, I get that.
It's a good spot. It's just down there on the docks.
Yeah.
Great open top space if it doesn't rain, obviously.
Yeah.
And then they got a really good downstairs bit.
Yeah.
DJs play music, beers, pizza.
You're bringing back the crew, aren't you?
2/3 of the accounting house mafia.
2/3. Oh,
So
I
Julie's
missed that
in
bit.
Malaysia now, unfortunately.
I missed that bit. Oh.
She can't Zoom call in and DJ.
Have you tried the tech?
Trying hard enough.
Have you tried the tech? You might still get away with it.
I'm sure we could figure it out.
But where did that come across? Because that's been kind of it's one of those staples of the industry, isn't it?
Accounting house mafia?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just a bit of fun. So
Yeah.
I think it was Dave initially was DJing at a few accounting events. I met Dave. I used to do a bit of DJing when I was at university. Next thing, me and him are DJing at some accounting events. Then we met Julie. Julie also DJ. She's an accountant. And then we've just got other people that also kind of get involved. Tom Allerton runs Bite Size Consulting, a firm based here in London. He's also a DJ. He comes and DJs sometimes. So it's just fun and nice way to enjoy the
But
evening.
networking, right? Like that's what it's all
Great
about.
networking.
Yeah. I love it.
It just shows that accountants aren't suits and ties and boring people.
Not anymore.
I mean, I was telling someone a story earlier about DJing at a certain award ceremony one evening, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I had the partner of a firm, and this guy was, let's just say he wasn't the stereotypical guy I was expecting to come up to me and ask me to play this song, and he kept coming up time and time again asking me to play Sexy and You Know It. To the point where it was almost like, you need to sit down, mate, because I'm not going to play this
uncomfortable
song.
now.
But yeah, like I think the stereotypes of what an accountant is and who they are is vastly different to what most people think.
And it's helped by people like Jason Stats, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely not that stereotype.
No.
And was he ever though? 'Cause I don't know. His
No, I
it
don't
doesn't
think so.
feel like
No,
it, does it?
no.
Yeah, it feels like he's always been there. Awesome. Anything else your end,
No, I'll see you afterwards, my credit card.
Jordan? Honestly, without like blowing too much of the proverbial smoke up your derriere, you are a cool friend to have.
Oh, I'm
like,
glad.
Honestly,
Thanks for making on. Thanks for having me, guys.
We have your card. I'll present to you afterwards. You fully deserve that card to come your way. Hopefully one day you can come and actually play a game of Top Trumps with us as
I
well.
would love that. Yeah.
See where you can get on the leaderboard.
Yeah. I've got to be honest. I've actually seen this card before because somebody shared it with me at an event earlier this year.
Yeah, we met.
I just so happened,
accidentally
just so
launched it too
happened to walk past them and they went, "I've got you in my pocket." And I was like, "That sounds a little concerning."
Don't tell my investors.
yeah. But no, you're honest. Back to it. I mean, why and how? When did you get the Apple Studio? So for anyone who doesn't know, the reason I'm geeking out over
I
this,
wondered how long it would take.
the most powerful computer at the time you bought it, definitely known to man. And I just remember, I can't remember what you did, some content, you were watching some content, whatever it was, and there it was in its all its glory. Like, as an accountant, I can't justify it, right? Like, I love doing these video stuff, but I just can't justify it. What made you go down the studio?
I'll be honest, I really didn't think about it that much. I needed a
Brilliant.
desktop computer. I like Apple. I had a MacBook. I wanted something that would like sync my things from one to the
What, and a
next.
cheese grater looking device
Yeah.
that also lets me use Safari.
And I was like, yeah, all right, cool. I'll buy that. I didn't think much more. It's a
was
really
me.
disappointing answer. You thought I was going to nerd out on the
Yeah.
specs, then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sorry. I have no
Well,
idea.
it was
Oh,
the,
it's pretty.
I have no idea. No.
it was the multiple cores that got me. That's why he's a cool friend, everyone. That's why he is a cool friend. He just buys his stuff just cause. You know what I mean? Just cause. All right, Jordan, thank you so much. Thank you for being a cool friend. Thank you for being a light in the industry that we can, that any event I can see you at, I know, as long as I go and speak to him, something's going to happen.
I'm not sure which way to take that, but I'm sure
in a
it's
positive
positive.
way, in a very positive way. So any last words from you?
No, just thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having
I'm
me.
so pleased with. I'm hoping the audio is good
Oh,
because
yeah.
we did you an absolute poor service last time we interviewed you. So apologies for that. We are haunted by it. At every event, we
We've
go.
spent a lot of money
We need
to
to
get
make
these
sure that
mics
audio is
working.
right because we cannot afford to do that.
We've invested in 32-bit float thanks to you.
Yeah.
But use that camera over there, plug, and plug away. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in learning more about vinyl, connect with me on LinkedIn. Happy to share more. And hope to chat to you soon. Thanks.
Beautiful.
And if you haven't, go and watch Jordan's stats video on it, because I think that's an opportunity to see exactly what it can do and what it can't do.
If you want an endorsement, Jason's stats video on vinyl is
And
fantastic.
as the accountant, we did one too, and I had producer Lizzie in as well. So, if you've got 45 minutes spare, go and watch that one. Jordan, thank you so much. Thank
Thanks,
you for
guys.
being a cool friend, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.